So I'll invite you to either lay on the ground or you can find a seat comfortably with either your eyes open or closed. You can turn off your video if that helps you tune in. Otherwise, just taking a few breaths as we arrive in the body. You may hear some wind in the background, which is the element of Tishrei. Wind being the element that allows things to leave us, to dissipate, to move, and also to bring in newness, an element that's porous and alive and moving, reminding us of the constant ebb and flow and fluctuation, our ability to let go and let in. So as we're hearing the wind around me and maybe feeling wind on your face, we'll also feel the wind inside, the wind of your breath, as it sweeps away the old and invites in the new, bringing you new energy, new life force with every breath. And one of the analogies for the Sukkah in the Oral Torah is that the Sukkah resembles the clouds of glory. Again, that wind element, the clouds of glory that protected and accompanied the Israelites as they wandered the desert. So even if you're not in a sukkah, you can imagine your breath is forming this protective vapor around you, creating a spiritual sanctuary. Every exhale, creating a vapor of protection around you, like you're sitting in your very own sukkah from your breath. And the Rebbe of Rushin teaches that the clouds of glory were actually created by the collective breaths of the Israelites as they wandered and journeyed through the desert. So even though we're in our separate Zoom rooms, we can sync up our breaths and feel that collective care, that collective energy surrounding us and embracing us. We're all moving through sacred time together, bringing awareness all around you, to the front, to the sides, behind you, the clouds of glory above, and the earth below. And the Sukkah invites us to dwell with our entire body. Just like we enter the mikvah with our entire body, the Sukkah surrounds all parts of ourself, embraced in divine space. So see if every breath you can leave the confinements of your own skin and enter into that sacred space around you. And as we expand into the space around us, we widen our vessels to receive the joy, to receive the faith that we are absorbing in the Sukkah. We get to expand our vessels to receive all the nourishment available to us. Perhaps you'd like to open your arms to feel that widening into open space, an expanding of the heart. Maybe opening the feet wider, feeling confident to take up space, to let yourself feel full. We just had the full moon, the peak of the energy of this month, and the full moon reminds us to take up so much space and let our light spill out, which is why we celebrate Sukkot on the full moon, expanding into the space. And see if your breath can also take up more space. On the inhale, we deepen, suck up all the life force, hold at the top of the lungs, letting ourselves fill up with energy from the crown to the toes. And exhale, taking up space as we send our breath out and forward, wrapping around us. Few more breaths like that. Deep inhale, taking up so much space, letting that breath animate your whole body. And exhale, giving your life force to your surroundings. One more deep inhale, animating your full self, opening, rising, widening. And exhale, send it out. And we can bring our hands to our third eye between our brows. This is our seat of Das. And remember, reflect on where we were on Rosh Hashanah. What intentions did we set? The source of mindfulness for the whole year. What were those things that we wanted to shift? What did we envision our future self looking like? It's coming back to that original attention. And then moving from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, the sweet honey of our intentions from the mind, as if those are dripping into the heart, we'll bring the hands to the heart. The honey, the sweetness from our intentions, dripping into the honey bowl of our chest. Remembering, reflecting on Yom Kippur, what our heart felt like that day, the day of forgiveness, the day of the Yechida, the singular essence of our heart. And noticing what's in the heart space today. What forgiveness did you accomplish or begin? And just breathing into the heart, acknowledging the Shekhinah, the feminine divine presence that animates all of our hearts, the heartbeat of the whole world. Breathing into the heart. And then glide the hands from the heart down to the womb as we move from Yom Kippur to Sukkot. Our womb being like the inner Sukkah, Sukkot being the actualization of those intentions that we set, the embodiment of those initial kavanot, those initial intentions. And here, let's just seal the palms around the womb. 3 circles, sealing in. Sukkot is the headquarters of joy and faith for the entire year. So even if you're not in a sukkah, you can seal it in through the womb. And here we don't have to do anything other than be. We just get to be, to dwell. That's the mitzvah of the sukkah, is just to dwell. The deepest form of being. We're massaging into that low belly space. And the word for womb in Hebrew, rechem, has the same root as rachamim, which is compassion. Perhaps the womb teaches us about compassion, about knowing how to create space within ourselves for another, for life. So sealing in that compassion inside of us. And also remembering that we're embraced around us by the divine womb, the sukkah being the womb of God. We're just absorbing the compassion, soaked in that divine rachamim. And maybe your body needs to move, shift side to side, or sway or rock. What is your body move like when it's just being, when it's just dwelling and sinking into trust and faith? Maybe there's some expanding and contracting. Maybe there's some circles, or maybe there's just stillness. Just honoring the belly brain, the deep wisdom of the low belly. And noticing where in your body feels the joy. We're at the 6th day of Sukkot, so it's definitely been sinking in. Where in your body feels joy? Maybe it's a subtle joy of breath to breath moments, a feeling of inner resource, of contentment. Where in your body feels the joy? Maybe it's a flutter in the heart, or a glimmer of the mind, or a sinking of the hips, or just a feeling of palm to cheek, present moment awareness. Even one sensation of joy. And just breathe that in. Breathe it in to let it sink in, to let it grow. We can also breathe that out and around us, creating a sphere of joy around us. And perhaps if it's in your practice to shake the lulav and etrog in all directions of divine space, you can have this intention to grow this joy into a sphere of joy, creating that spiritual sanctuary around you. And then notice where in your body feels emunah, trust, and faith. And the root of emunah is M, is mother. So if you don't connect to the word faith, you can just imagine you're in the womb, absorbing nutrients from the mother. That's the feeling of faith. Where in your body feels that nourished sense of faith, or that relaxed sense of trust. Maybe it's on the exhale of your breath. Maybe it's the feeling of feet on the ground or palms on your thighs, or a feeling of being held. What does it feel like to sink into that trust? And is there an area in your body that's tense or gripping or holding that can loosen into emunah? And once you feel that glimmer of trust, breathe it in like you're drinking it up, filling up your thirst, quenching your spirit. And bringing your palms back to your womb, just seal it in. 3 circles to the right. And let your palms fall wherever they fall, maybe back on your thighs. Maybe they want to rest on the heart. Maybe they want to stay on the womb. Just follow the impulse of your palms, trusting in your own body's wisdom. And we'll bring our hands in a big hug, bringing the practice back that Mickey taught us all, giving ourselves a hug of compassion. And 3 times you can say to yourself, as Mickey showed us, I love you. Thank you. Maybe there's rocking, maybe there's squeezing. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Giving yourself a squeeze, just like the Sukkah is a divine hug. We can also give ourselves that warmth and that embrace. And we'll take one deep collective inhale and big exhale. And gently opening your eyes, coming back to center. And because we have a small group, feel free to unmute yourself and just if anything arises, what feels